Alright, y'all, so today I want to do a very quick review of the New 52 Teen Titans Volume 5, The Trial of Kid Flash, which this would be the last volume of the New 52 Teen Titans, at least their run, just because New 52, by the time I believe this came out, was ending, or I believe there was another new series they were also branching out to. And yeah, I'm gonna kind of give you my overall thoughts on this. This book itself is really just kind of the ending of sorts to the New 52 Teen Titans, the sort of final chapter. And to kind of give you a really quick rundown of the plot, it kind of follows up from the mega event Forever Evil in the New 52. The Teen Titans are thrown into different timelines and alternate futures. They eventually all come together, but then eventually are in the 30th century, where they basically find out the real identity of Kid Flash, who is a character that has backstory mysteriously unknown to the reader until now. We find out he was a revolutionary against a authoritarian government called the Functionary, and he was sent back in time and had his memories kind of wiped because he was about to stand trial. The trial happens. Bartor and his revolutionaries attempt a part of their master plan to kill all of them. That fails. The Teen Titans help prevent this. And eventually Bartor gets sentenced to a prison planet, but Solstice, who is so overcome by her love for him, joins him by killing one of the judges, which is a pretty hilarious moment. The other Teen Titans, meanwhile, all go back to the main New 52. They eventually find out about Harvest, and basically he's at his mysterious schemes against metahumans again. And they find out that, oh, the colony is now a utopia. It's a campus, but it's all rules. He's basically taken metahuman DNA to, I guess, somehow control it. It's not exactly made clear, but eventually an explosion happens. It's presumed, at least comic book wise, Harvest is dead, and the whole situation with Nowhere is ended. They also kind of briefly give some interludes and some backstory to what Beast Boy and Bunker were doing, because at the end of Volume 4 they left. They were doing some things in Mexico, and they came back to join the Titans in this volume. And basically, there's kind of an 80s style ending. We basically get to see other characters. I also forgot to mention Skitter also returns out of nowhere. We also get a little bit more exploration of Solstice here and her backstory, how she got her powers, what she did in the culling, how she even got to look like that. We also got a little bit of backstory for Skitter, why she was able to transform, why she was able to control it this time around. And then Raven is apparently, I guess, free from her father's torment and decides to fully join the Titans of her free will, I guess you can call it. And they all kind of end. The Teen Titans itself disband. Robin joins Batman. Wonder Girl and Raven, I guess, become best gals. And, you know, Beast Boy and Bunker kind of set up a company, and Superboy becomes the herald of something, because he's basically not really in this series that much. So my thoughts on the final volume of the New 52 Teen Titans. I think overall there's some really good positives to this and some negatives. I think, for one, I think the characterization of characters here is spot on. Red Robin is the most likable he's ever been in this entire series in this volume. And Raven and all the characters ooze with personality, which I really like. Parts of Kid Flash's backstory I do think are pretty appealing too. The learning the mystery of them, I think, was really interesting. I do think there could have been a point, though, where maybe Bart Allen and Bartor could have came together for some kind of resolution, but it seems like Bartor's personality is fully taken over the Kid Flash. But I mean, I thought it was really interesting. It was a pretty cool backstory. I liked also exploring Solstice's backstory a bit more, especially what she did in the culling. That actually was really interesting, and wish the comic kind of focused on that a lot. And I also enjoy, like I said, the exploration of certain events and what characters were doing. I also like the fact that Harvest, in a lot of ways, is a human, and there's like the contrast between how Red Robin did things and how Harvest did them with metahumans. And I think that contrast is really made very well by the end of the series. And it was, like I said, a decent ending to it. And I like the fact that the characters did have an ending. And it's also cool that Skitter is here. We also got some more exploration because, you know, she kind of disappeared after Volume 2, But now she comes back at the very end of the series, and we got a little bit of backstory for her, which was very, very nice. I mean, it really was too late in the series to matter, and she should have been there to begin with. But I mean, it was really cool nonetheless. And the artwork is fantastic as always. I think the artwork is outstanding, and I don't think I have really any complaints. There's not too many horribly drawn stuff. The paneling is nice. Some of the dialogue is really nice. The quality is absolutely there. In terms of cons, I gotta say, one thing, Superboy. Superboy is barely in this. He's replaced by a alternate reality version of Superman's son, John Kent, that was raised by Harvest. And he's like this super evil, dark person that wants to kill all metahumans and basically replaces Superboy of sorts by the end, and then just chooses to stay in the future. That was a dumb storyline that didn't go anywhere. I'm not really sure what the point of that is. And to be fair, Superboy is barely in the Teen Titans series. And it's so strange because, like, I get it. DC wanted to have their own series of Superboy, and he's obviously crossing over into other Superman stuff. But I think DC made a mistake of giving Superboy his own series. I think he should have just been... He should have really been a character in the Teen Titans first and foremost, because it's really strange that he's barely in this, and he just kind of, like I said, they get a little bit of resolution that I get it was mentioned in his own series, but it just feels really one note. And the John Kent thing and the whole alternate future thing and the Crime Syndicate was really of a mixed bag, and like I said, it's a big crossover with another event that happened in the New 52, that, I don't know, like I said, it was a really mixed terms of quality level event, and I think it just impacts the story way too much, and I think, it really distracts from the overall narrative. So that part of the volume I didn't like. The Kid Flash stuff I did enjoy because it was something they were teasing from the beginning, and all the characterization and stuff. And I think the ending itself was decent, how the Titans disbanded. I mean, this was, like I said before, at least somewhat of an ending compared to, like, Supergirl's really abrupt, oh, she loses all her powers for no reason ending. So I have to appreciate that. But, like I said, that's kind of the end of it. And I think there was some really disappointing stuff. I think they could have explored these characters more. I can't really tell you of any further from the New 52, like in the Rebirth or such, that they, if they did anything better with the Titans. I don't know. If y'all want me to check it out, let me know. But, yeah, I think overall, in terms of quality, it's a little bit better than the previous volumes. Like, I would rank it probably a little bit higher, like Volume 2, or maybe, really just Volume 2. It's a little bit better than Volume 4. And such, but it's not, like I said, a huge amount better. Raven's storyline too kind of just falls flat. Like, they tease like Trigon's doing stuff with her, it's all part of this master plan, and then she makes like some random like comments in the timeline and stuff being thrown into these various timelines that, oh, her father's control of her is gone and she's free, and I guess she now wants to really be part of the Titans. Like I said, that part of it was really kind of undefined and a bit confusing. I was like, so are we going to do anything with that storyline, or are they just going to drop that? I don't know. Just really weird stuff. But to kind of wrap up my thoughts, overall, the last volume of the New 52 Teen Titans is a okay ending to the series that I'm sure a lot of people hate. I think overall it was a mixed bag of a run. I think that there could have been a lot of better things and better storylines and better characters that could have been introduced, and the writing in general could have been a lot better, but it wasn't the worst comic book run I've ever read. It's not like the worst thing the New 52 ever did. It's just, like I said, a mixed bag of a run. But at least, like I said, I do have to appreciate it had some kind of ending. So yeah, that's my quick thoughts on Volume 5 of the New 52 Teen Titans. Hopefully you all have a good day and peace, y'all.